Hi there, I'm Thomas, your friendly, slightly over-caffeinated AI guide to all things hybrid cloud. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to deploy FalconStor StorSafe and StorSite using the IBM Cloud Deployable Architecture tile. We'll go step by step so you can understand the workflow, what each screen means, and how the automation takes care of the heavy lifting. By the end, you'll see how easy it is to build a fully configured data protection environment with StorSafe, StorSite, and IBM Power VS, all with consistency, repeatability, and zero guesswork. Before we begin, let's talk authentication. Deployable architecture needs a few credentials: an IBM Cloud API key, an SSH private key and public key, and optionally IAM. Once those pieces are in place, we're ready to jump in. First, go to Manage Access, IAM. On the left under Manage Identities, click Manage API Keys, then click Create. Give your API key a clear name, something memorable. A description is optional, and the remaining settings can stay at their defaults. Click Create. Copy the API key now and optionally download the JSON file. IBM Cloud gives it a generic file name, so rename it for later reference. Trust me, future, you'll be grateful. Next, you'll generate your SSH keys. The Deployable Architecture Deployment Guide walks you through the exact commands, so refer to that when creating the key pair. Now we're ready to deploy. Go to the IBM Cloud Catalog, click on Deployable Architectures, and select the FalconStor StorSafe Power VS Deployable Architecture tile. On the left side, you'll see quick access links, docs for the deployment guide, get help for FalconStor support, README for prerequisites, release notes. These are your go-to references throughout the process. Click Configure and Deploy to begin. First, we create the project. Project names must be all lowercase. Rename the configuration so it's easier to identify later. You can specify your region and resource group, or simply keep the defaults. Click Next. Now choose your deployment landscape. Standard. One Power VS instance, great for POCs or small-scale setups. Extended Standard. Adds a second Power VS instance. Quick Start. A full multi-instance architecture with expanded components. For this demo, we'll choose Standard. Accept the license agreements and click Add to Project. To return to the project page, open the navigation menu, click Projects, then Configurations. We'll begin with the Power Virtual Server with VPC Landing Zone configuration. Click Edit, then Next, and enter the API key you saved earlier. All other defaults are fine. Click Next. Enable the optional inputs. These let you customize names and identifiers to keep your resources organized. I'll set my prefix to HM-DA-StorSafe. Next, specify the Power VS resource group. You can click the chain link icon and pull the value from your existing configuration outputs, or just type the known resource group name, in this case, default. Select your zone, external access IP, and your SSH public and private keys. You can customize the security group if you want to allow access from a specific external IP. By default, deployable architecture creates two subnets: Management Subnet, Backup Subnet. Once all optional inputs are complete, click Save, then Validate. After that, click View Logs to monitor progress. Terraform runs through 3 phases: initialization, planning, and apply. With validation complete, add a comment to approve the deployment. Click Approve, then click Deploy. Again, you can watch the Terraform workflow under View Logs. Initialization, planning, and apply run in sequence, and yes, sometimes the logs need a few seconds to warm up. When deployment completes, you'll see a success message. If not, check the logs, correct any issues by editing the configuration, and redeploy. Back at the project screen under Configurations, you'll now see that the Power Virtual Server with VPC landing zone is successfully deployed. Next, we'll work on the StorSafe configuration. Tech Exchange 2025 StorSafe-PVS-DA. Click Edit to update the configuration. Accept the defaults and click Next. Enter your API key carefully. Extra spaces or characters will cause validation to fail. Enable optional inputs. Under Prerequisite Workspace ID, click the chain link icon to add a reference. Choose the source configuration. Name, Power. Virtual server with VPC landing zone. Category, Outputs. Scroll until you find Schematics _workspace_ID. This is very important. Do not select Power VS Workspace ID. Choose Schematics _workspace_ID and click OK. Now enter the values from your sizing exercise. Capacity Memory vCPUs. Give the instance a name. I'll call mine HM-DA-StorSafe. Specify the system type. We'll keep the default S922. For storage type, Tier 3 is recommended for most environments. If you want to specify an IP manually, you can. You can also add additional subnets. We recommend a minimum of 3. One for iSCSI, one for replication, and one for management, plus cloud object storage. Optionally, isolate costs, traffic on its own subnet. Next, configure storage. The configuration repository is always 20 gigabytes. No need to modify it. The index and tape volumes depend on your sizing output. For this demo, I'm using a 1 terabyte dedupe repository. Index, 50 gigabytes. Tape volume, 500 gigabytes. Leave the StorSite instance and Windows instance settings set to true. Review all settings for accuracy. Click Save, then Validate. Validation takes a little time. If an error appears, we'll go back and correct it. Enter a comment to approve deployment, then click Deploy. Monitor progress via the logs. Confirm deployment success by navigating to Projects. Select your project, then click Configurations. Both configurations should show deployed. Next, let's check the StorSafe server. Navigate to Infrastructure, Power Virtual Server, Virtual Appliances. If the workspace isn't pre-selected, choose it. The StorSafe appliance will show a warning state. That's expected. We'll correct that from the console. Open the console by clicking Virtual Appliance, VTL Actions, Open Console. On first login, you must change the default root password. Your new password must be 14+ characters and meet complexity requirements. Next, reset the configuration to clear the warning state. These commands are in the deployment guide. Some commands take a few minutes. Patience is your friend. Once complete, refresh the Power VS Appliance page. The status should switch to active. Now we can attach additional devices. Click Attach Existing Devices, select the volumes, and click Attach Volume. Attached volumes will appear under Attached Volumes. Let's create an additional 1 terabyte dedupe volume. Give it a name, set the tier to Tier 3, and set the size to 1000 gigabytes. Accept terms, then click Create and Attach. If you have VPN access, you can connect using the reserved IP. You can also create a floating IP. To view the store site VSI IP address, go to the navigation menu Infrastructure, then click on Virtual Server Instances, and click on the IP to copy it. Now let's log into the store site server. Enter the IP address in your browser, log in, and accept the EULA. Obtain the StorSafe management IP from the PowerVS workspace under Virtual Appliances. Copy the IP of the management network interface. Enter the IP username and password to add StorSafe. Next, configure it. Manage physical resources, physical devices. Scan for new devices. Prepare the dedupe repository. Pick the 1500 gig disks, gear icon, prepare. Category is virtual, reservation is dedupe, and click Prepare. Category, Virtual Reservation, Deduplication Repository. Prepare the tape device. Select the 500 gig disk. Category is Virtual, reservation is Tapes, and click Prepare. Prepare the configuration repository. Select the 20 gig disk. Category is Virtual, reservation is Configuration, and click Prepare. Click the back button to go back to the settings page and click Tape Database to create the tape database. Select the 20 gig disk. Enable compression. Leave the thresholds at the default settings. Click on Settings Deduplication Repository to create the deduplication repository. Select both disks. Change the smaller disk type to index/folder. Leave the larger disk type as data. Click Create. Create a tape library. When connecting an ISCSI tape library to an IBM I host, choose the TS3500L32. Increase the number of slots to 999. Enable barcode suffix. Set the drive type to TD8. And enable capacity on demand. To create tapes, click on the gear icon, then Create Tapes. Click on Physical Device and choose the 500 gigabyte device. Set the number of tapes to 50. Click on the Service tab. Select the default deduplication policy. Click on Deduplication and observe that the tapes are added to the default policy, and that's it. To learn more, reach out to us at FalconStor.com.